My name is David Forbes, and welcome to Showcase 365. This is a podcast where we share interviews, learn about ideas and practices, and give actionable tips to help you and those you support. Today, we are going to be talking with Kim and Colby Spangler. They are from Alabama, and they'll be talking with us about supported decision-making. They were recent guests at the Showcase in Kansas City, and it was a very fantastic experience getting to hear Colby on stage. So I'm really looking forward to interviewing them today. So Kim and Colby, first off, I'd like to ask, how did you first learn about Charting the LifeCourse?
So for me, I was volunteering with a group of self-advocates, and we went to a DD council meeting way back in 2017. And our Alabama Council for Developmental Disabilities introduced it to us through a very sweet lady named Miss Terry Pazent. And after she introduced it to the council, it caught on real quick, and we started a community of practice within our state and started training ambassadors. And I loved what I saw, and then I took that information and introduced it to Colby.
So real quick for our listeners, I'd love it if you could both share who you are and where you're from.
My name is Colby Spangler. I live in Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
And I'm Kim. I'm Colby's mom, and I live in Birmingham, Alabama.
Fantastic. And what is your connection to disability and your connection to self-determination work?
My connection to disability, I have a disability too, and I want people to have a good life to make their own choices.
Same. I came into this line of work through being raised with my sister who has a disability. She is blind. And then when Colby was born, we received a diagnosis which qualifies also as a disability. And so between being a sibling to and a parent of a loved one with a disability, it's just always been near and dear to my heart. And the connection to self-determination is primarily through supported decision-making. We have learned through all that we have done with LifeCourse tools and supported decision-making that there's a good way, I would dare to say a better way out there than what we had been doing, and it is this. So
speaking of supported decision-making, why is that just so important to you and your family?
Supported decision-making for us was key and came at an incredibly valuable time in our lives. Colby decided that he wanted to go to college while he was in high school. And at that time, we had not even considered that as a possibility. So as we started researching and began to realize it was a possibility, that there are think programs out there in universities and colleges all throughout the United States that will accept students with intellectual or developmental disabilities, we got really excited. And so then it became a possibility. It was real. And then as we started doing more research, we realized that a lot of these Think College programs, in order to be accepted, required or preferred for the student to be their own guardian. Well, that was contradictory information from what we were receiving from our IEP team at the time. Our IEP team was telling us that when Colby is 19 in Alabama, when Colby turned 19 and became an adult, that we should probably consider becoming his guardians. And so we didn't know what to do. We were confused. But as I did the research about guardianship, the Jenny Hatch case had just been settled out of Virginia. And that created a pathway for an alternative to guardianship. which is supported decision making. We now know it as supported decision making. And so as we learned more about that, we realized this is Colby's pathway to college. Colby can make decisions for himself and be his own guardian with support this way. And so we followed up with that, and the rest is history, as they say.
I think we covered there a bit why support decision making is important for you guys, but why do you feel like it's important for other people with disabilities and who might need a guardian?
Because I feel like people with disability can live their own drive, make choices about their health.
Yep, with support.
With support.
Yeah. Yeah, we've lived it. We have experienced that good things come to Colby when he is able or positioned to be able to make his own decisions, as long as those decisions are informed, that input is given. Colby makes really good decisions, and it's led to his independence and him meeting goals that I'm not sure we'd be in the place where we are without. So we want to take that and just share it with the world and say, hey, y'all, this works. Let us show you how well this works.
Awesome. And I mean, hearing Colby speaking at the showcase, I think I can tell that that's already being done, and that is fantastic. So Colby, actually, I was wondering if you could share with me and my the listeners, what is the Colby Act?
It is about training make
Yeah, you got it.
It's about training making, about telling people how I live.
And how you use what?
Use the dream team.
How he uses the dream team and what those people do.
I like help support me with choices.
Mm-hmm. So that you can make your
own choices.
Right. So Colby gets to stay in the driver's seat. In other words, Colby gets to have the final say on decisions that affect his life. With support, alongside lots of other team members, that team agreement is in place and recognized legally in the court of law as a way or an alternative to support someone that has a disability and still give them the right to be able to make their own decisions.
That's really inspiring. I love that. So, but thinking about the Colby Act, how did Charting the LifeCourse help in your life, and also for sharing your story when you were advocating for the Colby Act?
So talk about your binder. What's inside your binder?
Forgot.
The LifeCourse tools.
LifeCourse tools.
Yeah. And can you talk about how each of those team members are named in a different role and what those roles are?
Corey Martin helped me with advocating.
Advocacy and engagement is one of the roles on the team. Yep. What's another role?
Amy, Roddy, and Scott Roddy helped me with social events and
socialization
and money.
Uh-huh. And then what about Mr. Lorenzo?
Help me with spiritual growth.
Spiritual growth.
And
what about Miss Sandy Evers?
Sandy Evers helped me with
healthy
relationships.
Yep. And then what is Dad's role?
Dad helped me with employment stuff and driving.
Employment, daily living, right?
Yes.
So that was your driving and your job, right? What is my role? What's Mom's role?
My mom is community living.
Community living. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So those, if you're familiar with the LifeCourse tools, those should sound familiar to you because those are the life domains, right? So we literally assigned a role to each person on his team out of those life domains, recognizing after that guided conversation that's provided from the LifeCourse tools that Colby would need support in these areas. And so we created his whole entire team around the life domains within the LifeCourse tools.
That's fantastic. I love that approach of making sure that Colby is supported in those different domain areas and that there's a person or multiple people assigned specifically. That is really, really cool. I don't know if I've personally seen or heard of that specifically before. So that is awesome.
It works really well for us. Yeah, for sure. We don't ever want to prescribe the way to run a team. We think that should be up to the individual with the team, right? But for us, that's a really effective way to run his team.
And so how was Charting the LifeCourse like pretty helpful then when sharing your story, Colby, and advocating for the Colby Act?
I made a video about myself.
We made several videos. Yep.
Yes.
And then who did we take those videos to see those videos? People who work where?
Work at
In Montgomery at what?
Montgomery State House.
At the State House and the Capitol. So we brought those videos to some legislators and said, this is Colby. Here's a little bit of a snapshot of Colby's life from those videos. And we mentioned the LifeCourse tools. And we would like for you to consider doing something like the Colby Act, supported decision making. And they said yes, and it worked. Yep.
That gives me chills. It's always fantastic hearing about successful like legislative advocacy in the disability area. That is just beyond fantastic.
It was a lot of fun. It was a team effort with help from our DD network, ADAP, and our USED, and the DD Council. But it was a lot of fun.
Well, that's a great showcase of it. It takes people working together, right? It's not just one person forging the path.
Oh, absolutely. I did not have near the kind of connections that our DD network had to make the introductions that needed to be made to get us into those conversations with different legislators and people that are decision makers. So could not have done it without our USED and ADAP for sure. The PIPA program that we went through, that was a huge contributor. Our partners in policy making for Alabama, that was a big player in all of it. So
that's great. So if you had to share one actionable tip on to someone regarding support decision making, what do you think that would be?
My biggest advice was, when I thought about this question, was do the work. A lot of people think about doing these things, or it's kind of in the back of their mind and it's not in the front of their mind. And there's not really any intentionality toward taking these kind of steps that are kind of mapped out easily within the LifeCourse tools. But if you do the work and you're consistent and you're intentional about doing the work, the rest just falls naturally into place. It can't help but to work out if you're following the guidance that is already set up within the LifeCourse tools.
It's a great tip. Thank you for sharing that. And then finally, what is your favorite Charting the LifeCourse saying, if one comes to mind?
For me, it would be to live the good life. We were definitely struggling, and that might even be an understatement, but we saw a giant cliff coming up, so to speak, when Colby was in high school and couldn't visualize a way to avoid it until we started using the LifeCourse tools. And then that cliff went away. We could see the good life. We stayed on that upward trajectory. and things worked out really well. And we went from a lot of scary moments and questions and not being able to see the light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak, into living a good life. So that'll be forever one that I stick with. Let's live the good life.
What about you, Colby? Is there anything that you have as far as a favorite part of the Charting the Life course?
Mine thing I like about Life Course, it really helped me how to live my own life.
Well said. That is fantastic. Well, Kim, Colby, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the podcast. Is there any way that people can follow the work that you're doing?
Yeah, absolutely. I always invite people to look at the Arc of Alabama's website. And then you can also look at our Facebook page, and I will connect the supported decision-making / Alabama private Facebook page to our Arc of Alabama Facebook page. So just look us up online and feel free to reach out. You can always Google or email me. The email address would be Kim Spangler at thearcofal.org.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for both for your time. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.
Thank y'all.
Thank you for taking the time to listen to Showcase 365. Please share this podcast with friends, family, and anyone you know who would love to learn more about creating their good life with the Charting the LifeCourse framework and tools. Remember, you can always find tools and resources on our website, lifecoursenexus.com. We have specific support decision-making tools on our website located under the Exploring the Life Domains tab, or you can find the link in the description of the episode to learn more. We hope you will join us next month.